want to reflect on one of the greatest careers in NFL history. That is Drew Brees, number 9 in New Orleans, as well as, you may forget, in San Diego. And he's going to be on his way to the Hall of Fame. Everybody loves Drew Brees, one of the statistically greatest quarterbacks of all time. Jen, just reflect on your thoughts on him as a player and maybe where you would rank him all time.
Such a dynamic guy, right? Like anytime he got the ball in his hands, he was electric. And let's not forget, he was not prototypical, right? That quarterback, oh, he's too short. There's knocks here, there's knocks there. And yet one of the all-time dynasties with the Saints, you saw it after when New Orleans was devastated, right? You saw him and that team put the city on their backs, right? And elevate them literally out of the floods, out of the damage. And it showed the power of what sports can be in our society, right? Not just the importance of the game, but the importance of the game to a city, right? That needed something so badly. And to me, that's what I'll always think of when I think of Drew Brees and the Saints, right? The city that had gone through so much, the city that, that was devastated and yet known for such celebration, to come back and really see a sports team shape a team like a city's recovery. I think it was a powerful societal statement. And that's what I always think of with him. Whether you're on a team that wanted to play against him or wanted, or didn't want to play against him, which is most of them, right? Like, unless you're thinking best on best, never a great opponent to face, but probably one of the first people that you would want to link arms with or be a teammate with.
Yeah, one of the most cerebral players there's ever been, one of the most intelligent FBI quarterbacks there's ever been. And I think really Sean Payton and Drew Brees as a combination have revolutionized the game of football. I don't think football today is the way it's played without their offense and their influence on offensive football. I remember, like you said, back in 2006, when he joined the Saints, they drafted Reggie Bush. That was a huge deal. The whole team, the whole organization was starting fresh. And ever since then, they've been one of the NFL's best organizations.
They have, and you really saw what it's like to be on the same page and have those long relationships, right? Coach and quarterback, and really building a culture and one that infused a city, right? And it's tough to think of what an NFL looks like without having a Drew Brees led team, right? Especially in the Saints too, particularly, right? It's not just any team. Like, I know you mentioned San Diego, but like,
yeah,
I don't ever think of Drew Brees not being a Saint. And so that is going to be pretty tough. I know he's going to the analyst side, which, I'm looking forward to. I'm sure we will learn a lot about his FBI and that. But definitely one of the all-time greats. I'm not great at ranking because so many quarterbacks are so different. Do I know I want him? Yeah. And do I want him with Sean Payton? Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, Drew Brees, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Maybe let us know on social where you would rank Drew Brees at the Juke Pod, whether it's on Instagram or on Twitter. Let us know. We talked about Jameis Winston last week on the show, another quarterback, and we talked about Drew Brees earlier. Jameis might be the man to take his spot.
Oh, what did I call last week? Didn't I call this?
You called it. I'll give you credit, just a little credit.
Jameis Winston. Credit, just a little credit. If you guys weren't paying attention last week, you missed it. I said that I thought, Jameis was a secret weapon with the Saints, that Sean Payton was building into him for a year and believed he could be that guy, but didn't want to get Teddy'd again, right? Do you want to build somebody up just to have him taken away? And that, Taysom Hill plays a role, right? I think Taysom Hill can be, a good stunt double, fun trick play guy. I don't see him as a franchise quarterback. I see Jameis having tremendous upside. And now we're talking eyes fixed, thumb healed, knee done, and a year studying with Sean Payton. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm good with that. You good with that?
I'm good with that, especially when you consider it's 1 year, $5.5 million. This is the thing I love about Jameis Winston, Cam Newton, and these signings that are lower end money for this year is you have the chance to surround them with better talent. But are you telling me that like Jameis Winston is like 4 or 5 times worse than Jimmy Garoppolo or a guy that's making 23 to 25 million? Like, I don't think so.
No, absolutely not. But he does need a year where he can prove it, right? And
Yeah.
I think that this is your show, not tell year, right? Like, let your show tell your story for you. Keep your mouth shut and do work, right? Go out there and lead this team and silence those people who would just throw the interceptions back at you. Okay. We know that it's there. We know that they're going to talk about it. So the best way to change the narrative is to go out there and play the narrative away. It's still going to persist. They're still going to say it. You just got to keep balling. And I think that Sean Payton sees a real upside and that he's seen a lot of potential from Jameis. Knowing Jameis the way I do, I mean, this is a guy who would do anything in the world for his teammates. He is that guy who would go to the wall for his teammates. And I have no doubt that he is taking this time in and becoming an even better version of himself, and one where I believe Sean Payton knows and knew that he could take that element away from his game that everybody was knocking him on with just the investment of time.
So, Jameis, listen up. Don't eat W's, just get W's. That's what we need in 2021.